Welcome to another episode of the Multan Truth. I am your host, Zoey Michaels. We are pleased to be here today with not just an author, but also a musician, and I think also a businesswoman, Glenda Benevides, if I'm saying it right. Did I get it right that time?
Yes, you are.
Third time's the charm, I think. Glenda, I'm glad you were able to
Yep.
make that today. I'm glad that our schedules finally were able to coincide where we could connect today.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
looks like you've
That's
been
great.
pretty busy. I was noticing on your website that looks like you have a new song that's out, and I think a book that just recently came out. Did I see that right?
Well, I've had a book. It's been out for a little while. I've got four books, but the main one that I love is called Courage: Find Your Fire and Ignite Action in Your Life. Um, and yeah, so that's been out. Got a Grammy nomination last year for my music. Working on a new album this year and a show called Soul on Fire. There we
Very
go.
cool.
It's been a long day.
Say, you're on the West Coast. Your day's not even over yet.
And I've been up since 7, been rolling with you know how it is when you're online all the time. It's just like, yeah, you
Yep,
do know.
yep, I get you. Yep. No matter where you're at.
Yeah,
I mean, we all have our crazy things that we juggle, but when you love what you do, it does help make it a little more bearable.
that's
It
correct.
does.
Yes,
So,
yes.
when you describe your music, is there a genre that it would fit into?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question. So the styles of music I do are varied, but if you were to like look at, okay, what did you submit for Grammys this year? Well, that's more of a style of what they call um, soul bluesy slash
Hmm.
roots music. Those are like categories and stuff, but it's one of those things where you've almost got to listen to it and then you go, oh, well, that's what that reminds me of. Especially these days, because music is so interchangeable and is, got these wonderful hybrids. I'm working with my vocal coach out of Scotland, and he and I are working on jazz. So then you've got jazz. I've got this whole two jazz sets that we've been working on. So I've got that. I've got the new album coming out. It's more of a bluesy roots type of thing. I would say that's kind of really where I lie, more in that soulful blues
Yeah, that's cool.
jazz
And maybe
vibe.
it's
Yeah.
just me, but in my head, I'm thinking Scotland jazz. These are not two naturally paired things, but how cool that the potential for that.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're all international, so, their traditional music is from a Celtic root, which is more their music
Mhm.
is called Gaelic music. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Kaylee, yeah,
Celtic.
I think it's silent. Um, no, the style is Kaylee, K
Okay.
League, something like that. I'm slaughtering it, I'm sure, but it's with
Okay.
Celtic roots. So, and it's a style of music. Anyway, that's their traditional. It's kind of like our
Right.
country
Right.
music.
And I could
Hmm.
picture
Yeah.
that. For a time, I lived in the Carolinas, and every Sunday there was this one radio
Yeah.
station that would play kind of Scottish country-ish music, and I have to say I loved the
Yep.
sound of it. I could have listened to that music all day long.
Beautiful.
Um, it really
It's beautiful,
is,
isn't it? Yeah.
but it's not the first thing I
Hmm.
think of when I'm tuning a radio or tuning through Spotify or whatever. But when I stumble upon it, I'm like, oh, this
Right.
is
Right.
great. It's funny how that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But
That. Yeah. It's more of like a traditional type of music for their heartland, their homeland, which is, if you look at the Carolinas, anywhere in the South, it's very much populated early on with
yes,
the Scots. So that's why you're going to get that Appalachia, which that hybrid blend of, you're not really sure where's it coming from, but it's like it's from Scotland,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
pretty
is.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Music is wonderful.
Yeah, you have to love
Yeah.
the fluidity of the music and how it does change and grow, and suddenly a new genre is born and
Yeah.
it takes off and it's
Mm-hmm.
constantly moving and
Yeah. Well,
changing.
we'll throw a little bit of this in there and see what it sounds like now. Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with literature. There's always new genres of literature being born
Yeah.
too. You write this book and like, well, what category does
Interesting.
this go into? And sometimes there's no real
Right.
category for it, and you go, well, what's the
Right.
closest that I can maybe find my audience? And
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly, Zoe. I think you've got that 100%. And I really see that these days. I think we're really being called to like stop with labeling, which I think is really interesting. But to your point, what you said was, you know, it helps an audience that might want to listen to
hmm
that style or read that type of literature. It helps them redefine. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me go in there. I'm not a horror fan, but I love, scary and
right,
spooky, so that would
exactly.
help.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe taking it a
Yeah.
step back, like someone I interviewed very recently, he doesn't consider himself
Yeah.
horror fiction. He calls himself a dark fiction author. So it's not quite so on point. It's
Nice.
pulling it back just a
Yeah.
little broader. And, maybe that's the thing to
Yeah.
do. Pull it out a little bit. Um, for the sake of argument, some of the books I write are not strictly romance because I don't really believe in the fairy tale romance. I believe in actual real life love and not the fantasy
Yeah.
love. Um, and so I write
Right.
about real relationship type of stuff more so than the imaginary, stuff that people usually think
Yeah.
of when they think of romance. But there's no such category for what I write. So like the closest thing is romance. So
Romance. Right. That's really interesting. I think that's really cool because then you get to have romance and note that it does get a little messy because it's almost even leaning
yeah,
into that self-help type of nonfiction
exactly.
fiction.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah. And
that.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
aiming for, because I'm
Yeah.
pulling a little bit from I
Uh-huh.
love Gary Chapman's book, the one about the five love languages. He's really, the
Yeah.
thoughts behind what he wrote.
Fantastic. I was just trying to
Yeah. So
Yep. It's true, and that's so good, especially if you know what someone's love language is. Like, I like to spend more time, or I need touch, or whatever.
yeah,
I love that
exactly.
book
So
too.
having
Yeah,
that as an
so good.
underlying,
Mm-hmm.
information within the pages of the book, but having a couple that
Yeah,
they're still married to each other, the love is there, but they've just got issues they've got to work out, and having an interesting
yeah,
story framework to
exactly.
have that, so the romance is still with it with a married couple
Yeah,
that just anyway, neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about me, but for the sake of argument, like again, just where do you put that genre?
totally.
So now your
Right.
book, the most recent one was Courage. Um,
Yeah, that was my
oh,
was my first one. Courage, find your fire, ignite action in your life. Yeah, I would consider that would be in the self-help
very nice.
category. Yeah, that's more of, I call it a teaching memoir. So it's my memoir. You can hear stories about what it was like on the road, but you can still apply it to your life because those are things that I come up against, like courage, confidence, commitment, community, those type of things. And then I talk about those things and how did I had trials and triumphs inside of that. So so anybody could read it and go, oh, okay, yeah, I never thought about that. Like I just had a guy actually buy this and out of Germany, and he said it totally helped him through a really
Very
tough time.
nice.
I was like, wow, that was fabulous comments. So things like that really make you feel like, oh, okay, it was my insights or my journey really can
Yeah,
support
you made a
others,
difference in
to
someone's
take a
life.
deeper look at their
Yeah,
life.
that's the best
Yeah,
thing in the world to
yeah.
know that someone's life actually was improved, impacted in a positive way. That's
Mm-hmm.
like the best possible
Yes.
compliment.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep, for sure. Yeah.
So you're currently working on an album. How deep are you into this album so far?
Well, um, it's going to be probably an EP. It's I
Hmm.
think 6 songs. Maybe there's going to be more. We haven't really decided yet, but I think it's going to be 6, um, with a Southern theme to it. Got my Southern blues stomp kind of. Let me tell you a story. So yeah, that I'm working on that now. We're in the initial
Okay.
stages of it. It won't be ready for it won't be ready for a while, but um, we'll uh, we'll definitely be promoting that when that comes out and next year for Grammys and yeah, so that should be good. I'm excited
Yeah.
about it actually.
So when you're
Yeah.
going through your process, your creative process, um, what inspires you? Like, and do you start with lyrics first, or do you start with like the music first? How does your creative process work?
Yeah, I'm mainly a lyricist. So every once in a while, I grab my mandolin or guitar and I'll bang something out or whatever. And I have to have somebody else help me put it together. But it just depends on. Of course, I'm going to start with a concept or an idea, more of like, well, what is it that I want to say? What is it that I see from my perspective? What do I want to share? That type of thing, and then I'll look at it from that, like how do I relate that in a story, or how do I relate that to what people really need to work through or
Hmm.
hear, I guess. So I start with that usually. And I was looking at my notes. I was like, I've got over 300 of these songs that just kind of started. Some of them were finished, but there's no music to it. There's no melody, no music. Some of them have melodies with lyrics, but no music, no nothing. So they're just all in
Yeah,
different iterations.
absolutely,
Yeah, it's just different. Each song speaks to you in a different way.
absolutely, and
Yeah,
as they should.
yeah,
How
yeah.
closely related are your songs to your books? Do they feed off of each other from an inspiration standpoint?
I think so. I mean, like I've got after Courage, like I've got a song Courage, things like that. But um, the song Courage came before the book. But yeah, like Own the Goddess Within. That's my other book, and then Soul on Fire, which right now I'm actually putting together a 1 hour 40 minute show live performance, that also the books will be attached to that performance. Like when you come in, you'll get yourself a gift bag, and in the gift bag you'll have a journal, you'll have a book, you'll have some other fun tchotchke stuff in there that we're from our sponsors. And yeah, and then they get to sit and have this hybrid experience entertainment. So it's like a TED Talk meets a
Yeah.
conference, meets a live performance. It's this really interesting hybrid experience. So yeah, we're in the middle of that now. So so I am kind of
Yeah.
fusing some books
And
with
why
that.
not?
Yeah, and a
Yeah.
nice worksheet.
Well,
Yeah,
music is such a therapeutic thing. You know, used
it is.
right, it can reinforce the behaviors you want or the healing that you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
such a force for change. So why not? Why not use
Yeah.
it in conjunction with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well,
for
I mean,
saying
I've
that,
lived it.
actually. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
fully believe it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Do you interact
Yeah.
much with
Hmm.
like I don't want to say therapist, but like what are they called? I'm drawing a blank. This is what happens when you work a full time job and then do this for fun.
Right.
Oh goodness. People motivational like coaches. I think that's what I'm looking for, the coaches. Because I did see some events listed on your calendar that seem to indicate that maybe you at least are involved to some extent in that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the intentions for Soul on Fire is to bring that to the public in creative ways, meaning I could take it into a
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit. Like I just did a little piece with the She Angels in down in Los Angeles, this She Angels Foundation, um, and then you can also take it into like it's a retreat, a 4 day retreat. I'm the last day, like my show, my experience is the last part of the day of the last day, something like that. Or I can even go into corporates,
Absolutely.
settings, and really share certain things maybe with the women in the corporate industry, or what do they call it, like women's leadership or something like that. So that's kind of where I'm intending this to be. So you're hitting it right
And
on.
why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, once upon a very long time ago, I used to be in the human resources for a big bank,
Okay.
and human resources. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they just got all the perks because we got to go on those type of retreats and things like
Right.
that. And so, I
Nice.
remember doing some like big getaway things, like 2 or 3 day conferences, and I don't remember having,
Yeah.
anyone
Nice.
like you there, but still we were like really nice places, and there were some trainings, and you know
Right.
exactly.
Relaxing and getaway.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm with
so
you.
why
Yep.
not? Why not go after that and
Yeah.
see
Why
what
not?
comes of it? Because if it benefits them,
Yeah.
and if it benefits their
Yeah.
employees, then they're gonna do it.
Absolutely. That's right. And it's more than just a talking head. It's more than just
Hmm.
a speaker. We all
Hmm.
know what that's like. Some of it's good, some of it's not, whatever. So this is kind of a new model for us. It's a new day.
Absolutely.
We're in a new day.
Let's hope the day is kind.
Yes. I think so, because I think entertainment um right now is hurting on some levels. I know as a musician, it's always hurting, especially if you're not at the top. But I think that you've got to find your way as an artist, an evolving artist. You have to find your way. You got to find your new, how do I share this with others, make that living, and really uplift people, or whatever your intention is, right? So you're always thinking like that. How does that evolve? How does that express itself in the highest way it can?
Absolutely.
So, and it's challenging. I'm not saying it's an
Right.
easy
Well,
peasy.
and the fact, I mean, you bring it
Yeah.
up, and I'm thinking, wow, I've spoken to so many, not just authors, but musicians as well. One in particular,
Yeah.
I think he's got 30 years behind him, and he was talking about how back in like oh, maybe, yeah,
80s,
maybe the
90s.
80s, maybe further back in the
Yeah.
80s. But he was talking about like back then
Mm,
people could actually go do gigs and make a living,
make a living.
and then there
Oh
came a
yeah, I
point
did.
where
Mm-hmm.
really at this
Yep.
point they're doing it purely
Mm-hmm.
for love of
That
the
was it.
music, and it's more that they're spending out of
Yep.
pocket because they love that, and so they have a job to support this
Yep.
hobby that doesn't really even pay
Yep.
them, but
Yep.
they do it for purely for the love of it.
Yep.
And even from an author standpoint, unless you're like some big time author, it's purely about the love of the written word. Different times.
Yeah. Yeah, because it really, it's a team that you have to have, and they're not
Yep.
cheap. You've got to have a really good publicist, publishing behind you, all kinds of stuff. It's not an easy nut to crack. Let's just put it that way. But it can be done. And if you have the energy to do it and you believe in it, you just got to look. You just got to keep looking for the cracks. Like, where am I going to fit in, and, just get your team to help
Go
out
through
and
it.
blow through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I happen to know your publicist is very good at what he does. He's sent a lot of good people my way. So
Yes.
I know you've got someone very
Yes.
reliable, hardworking in your corner. So thank goodness for that.
Yes. Yes.
You know, there's
Thank
so many out
goodness.
there,
Yes. I feel
you know,
that's one. That's one grateful thing I definitely am grateful
Exactly.
for, you
Exactly.
know. And it's I think as you know, as an author, as me as an artist, it's really important to consistently be out there and sharing what you're doing, whether you've got two people watching or 5,000, and I think that it's important to define and refine, who you are and be out
Yeah.
there. So I think
I
that's
think
really
you're
key.
exactly right. The more
Yeah.
visibility, if nothing else, is
Yeah.
good practice for the next time that's maybe more visible, but it keeps you,
Huh?
in motion. And as long as you're in motion, you're going to stay in motion.
That's right. That's right. That's how I was looking at too. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily equate to dollars coming back, but it does give you that practice. It does give you that experience. So when you are on
Yeah,
CNN,
exactly.
you don't sound like an
Exactly.
idiot.
Just a lot of dress rehearsals.
That's right. A lot of dress rehearsals. I know that well.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
incidentally, I am loving, I'm guessing it's the background on your computer, but I mean with this looks like maybe a magazine cover that goes with maybe what you've been up to, or
It's my Yeah, it's my promotion thing. Is it always does it look backwards
not
to
at
you
all.
too?
Mm-mm.
Do I
Nope.
do I
Nope.
Oh,
It's
okay, okay.
perfectly readable.
So music
Yeah.
unity
It's
action.
it's written correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good, good.
So
Okay, good. Because it's backwards when I'm
Oh
looking at it,
yeah.
But yeah, I do these are the things that I
Yeah.
stand for,
Yeah.
So soulful, impactful stories, transformational ideas, conversations for
Yeah.
solutions. Love yourself, love your
Mhm.
environment, right? And then my music stuff, and then there's my me, and then my QR
Yeah,
code over there.
absolutely.
So it's easy for people to go, oh, let me see if I can buy her book.
Now we don't have the whole thing,
That's
but
what we're
we've got a
hoping.
good chunk of it. But it looks
Oh,
nice. I was I
oh, you
was
just
I
got a
was
chunk of it.
thinking it was like
Okay,
your the
okay.
online version of a picture behind you, kind of a thing. But it's
Ah,
very bright.
okay.
It's a very
It's
nice,
it's landscape. Sorry.
background for you. I was like, wow, this is really,
Thank you.
looks really good.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
you're
that. Yeah,
welcome. Very
thank
well
you. Yeah,
chosen. Definitely, definitely,
yeah.
it'll be memorable.
Thank you.
But,
Yeah,
so
good. Good,
tell us
good.
about I well let me just say real quick. Your website is glendabenevides.com.
You know, it you can do that if you can spell
Yeah.
it. A lot of times people can't spell Benavides, or they spell it in many different ways. Which is the only way is Benevides for me. But here's something easy:
Well, yeah.
GlendaMusic.com. Easy. It takes you to the main website, and everything's there. Still GlendaBenevides.com, Glenda Music. It all
Okay,
goes there.
that's really
So
wise.
I just wanted to make it
Yeah,
easy for
no,
people.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
that's the
want,
smartest thing I think I've heard yet, because I've seen some challenging names. I've talked to a number of people, and
I know
that
you're
is
like,
the
what?
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's some like really extraordinary hard names, and or weird spellings, or that's like Benavides, right? You could spell it
True.
Benavides or Beneva, like that, right? So that messes up people. Or you get John Smith, and there's 30,000, right? So you're like, I have no
Yes,
idea.
exactly.
So yes, so I went Glenda Music. Then
Well,
that's easy,
exactly.
easy
Exactly.
peasy.
Yeah, I had this
Yeah.
interview with a fellow by the name of Mark Anthony, not to be confused with Mark Antony, the famous one, but that was
Okay.
kind of the whole joke. You're like, here's his name, and
Right.
no, I'm not that one.
Right.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
glendamusic.com. I mean, easy for people to remember. That is fantastic. So on there, I know for a fact it
Yeah.
shows your books. I know for a fact it shows your music, including there was the one song released at the bottom of one of the pages I looked at. I believe it shows your touring schedule.
Yep. You can see that. You can see, oh my goodness, there's so many things on there. I mean, you just have to, you know, scroll around in there. But yeah, I mean, I got tons of music videos on YouTube. So it's, Glenda Benevides, YouTube, youtube.com @Glenda Benevides. I have another one too. And it's like, there's nothing on there. But this one has all my music videos. It's got all my interviews that I've done in the past. More the interviews that I do for other people. So there's that. And then all my interviews, like you and I, and you will find our interview once it's done. It'll go up also on my website too. That's under press. Yeah. So there's tons of stuff. Global Badass Goddess, Soul on Fire, what's happening with that show and everything.
Absolutely.
So it's a fun website. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Including merchandise. I saw that you had merchandise, and it linked to, I think Zazzle.com was where the merchandise link went to.
Yep.
And I saw some t-shirts. I didn't get too deep in because it was a few minutes before our interview, but I was like, oh, okay, so she's got merchandise. Now, is that purely about promotional stuff in relation to your books and music, or is there other things?
That's a great question, actually. No one's ever asked that.
I just kind of fly off the cuff.
It's that's a new one. That's good. No, it's what I like to do with merchandise is I like to design things that are meaningful for the person that's going to wear them. Right. It's not necessarily a promotion for me. There may be, GlendaBenevides.com on there or something like that on some of them, but it's tiny and it's, but I like to have like imagery, or I like to have sayings or things like that would mean something that when you put it on, you kind of go, yeah, I feel good about this, or that's a good talking point. I love talking points because you're out and about, maybe you're shy, and you say, unbreakable, like that's one of my songs, it happens to be. But if you write unbreakable across your chest and you're walking around, people kind of go, that's cool. She's unbreakable.
Either that or a big fan of Bruce Willis.
And if you were brave enough, no, it wasn't really from that, but, but it's right. That's good, whatever you relate to. But it's a good talking point too, might give somebody the courage to say something, so that's kind of what it's meant to do. Is it's meant to feel good about it. It's like a mantra, or it's like a talking point, so somebody can like feel like they want to be inspired or connected with each other. So that, and then what I do is, since I know who's buying my stuff, what I do is I take $1 off of that and I purchase a tree. So with one tree planted. So everything that I do goes back to one tree planted, of course, and myself, and to pay off, to pay the merchandise, obviously. But yeah, so that's exciting. So I donate $1 off of every purchase, whether it be books or, the merchandise or the music, and it's a great way to play with others, saying, look, you support me, I support you, we support the environment, and I'm going to buy a tree and we're going to plant it where it's needed.
It's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, this world needs more trees.
I was like, how do I give back? How am I going to give back? And I was like, oh, well, I buy trees all the time. And I thought, oh, since I'm buying trees, why don't I buy trees for everybody else?
There you go. I like it.
It's like, great.
No, that's very lovely.
Yeah, we planted about 400 trees.
Wow.
We planted about 400 trees now. Cool. Yeah.
In a specific place, or is there like a specific organization that you donate to that then gives you a report?
Both. So the organization that I work with is One Tree Planted. They're out of Vermont, and you get to pick where that money goes. So I pick Washington. Did I do Canada? I write Washington, Oregon for sure, because beautiful trees, burning's not good. California, Scotland, they need some trees. Yeah, I think that's it right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wondered if Scott would come into play. Yeah. I have my niece married a man who is of Scottish heritage. And so there was this
Okay.
one year I was trying to find a good anniversary present for them. And what you know, they had this one place selling little tiny pieces of land, but basically that little tiny piece of land means you are a Scottish lord. And I was like, well, that's the perfect gift for
I
my
know,
little
I saw
Scottish
that. I
nephew.
love that.
So there we are.
I
It was the
love
greatest
that.
thing.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
so cool. I'm a lord.
exactly.
That I saw that. I saw that. That was really
Yeah,
cool,
I was really
actually.
happy with myself for
Yeah,
finding that. And then my
that's
niece could
great.
literally, when she's frustrated with them, oh my lord. Just kidding. But, you know, the
That's
sarcastic girl in
awesome.
me
That's
likes
awesome.
that.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
what can I say? Um,
That's
so
funny.
as we're continuing on, like I said, we don't have to fill up the entire time space, but again, we're just looking for a lively conversation.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that you would like to share with our audience that I haven't touched on or asked about?
No, we've pretty much talked about it. I mean, I think, that just wanting people to know that, that they're not alone, and that this, especially this time of the year, and that, reaching out to each other, and don't feel, if you're feeling down or feeling sad, just make yourself reach out to somebody, just so you can have a connection there. We're so tethered to um, our our units, our electronic
So
units, and I think it's so important, especially this time of the year, when you feel kind of maybe alone or isolated or whatever, just to reach out or go have a cup of coffee, see if you can talk to somebody. Wear one of my t-shirts where it says unbreakable. or courage. Like I have a courage t-shirt, so wear that, people, and you get courage.
absolutely.
So yeah, I would just say, yeah, that's I think one of the things I'd love to leave people with, and just to support local, support you, support, buy your books, do that type of thing with each other, for each other, and I think we'll feel a lot better.
And I'm going to
Yeah,
tag
get
on to
off
what
the
you're
news.
saying because you're so right. This is a time of year where you're either surrounded by people or you are completely alone. And it's so tempting because it's cold outside to just stay inside, and be with
Mm-hmm.
your just devices, which only makes it worse. And
Yeah,
there seems to be this stigma with people.
yeah,
They think that if they call their doctor for help, like, oh, if you are on medication because you're feeling depressed, oh, something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with getting help.
yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting help. If
That's
you need
right.
help, you get help. And my day
That's
job
right.
involves helping people every day, kind of like that in the medical field. So I do get calls like that sometimes.
Wonderful.
And, we are
Oh,
there to
Zoe.
help people. And so I would just say to our
Yeah,
audience, please, please do not be alone. If you
exactly.
feel like you need help, call a friend, call a medical professional, ask for the help. It is
Yep.
there for you, and the person wants to help you. They're not going to hang up on you. If you're
Yes.
disconnected, I promise the person didn't disconnect you. It was technology. It was not them. Call
Yes.
back. um,
Yes.
but
Exactly.
by all means, get the help. It's there for you. So I just had to,
Yeah.
going into that.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's great. Right on. I don't know why I just
yeah,
wanted to say that,
I'm
but
glad
I
you
felt like, oh,
did.
I just really need to say that because
Oh,
yeah, I really feel like
yeah.
people, we need each other. We need each other now. Matter of fact, we need each other more than we need
Well,
the news. So I
yeah.
think that is not
Well,
positive.
isn't it
So,
ironic that never in history has there been so many ways to connect with people, and yet never in history have people
mm-hmm.
been so disconnected from each other? I
That's
mean,
right. That's
literally,
right.
how many
That's
people
right.
actually know their neighbors in the apartment next door or in the house next
That's right.
door? They
Mm-hmm.
might see them and wave,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but there was a
Yeah,
time
maybe. Yeah.
my mother never met a stranger. My mother knew everyone. No matter where we
Yeah.
moved, she knew
Right.
everyone because that's how she was raised.
Oh, my
Yeah.
mom too. Yeah.
You and
Yeah,
I were
that's right.
raised stranger
And then
danger.
when it came Christmas time, right? And then when it comes Christmas time, everybody got a tin, everybody and the neighborhood, all kids, came over, whatever, just, everybody just, you didn't have to put a sign up saying neighborhood watch.
Right. Exactly.
We watched. It's just what we
Exactly.
did, right? Take care of each
It was a
other,
village.
and not from a nosy
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Everyone raised the
Yeah. But
kids.
just from like, uh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
I think that's
It's so
healthier.
much healthier. We should know our neighbors. We should be
Yeah.
interacting. It should not be so much
That's
isolation.
right. That's right.
So,
Yeah. Do you find now you're in South
so my
Carolina, you
family's
said?
in the Carolinas.
North Carolina.
We're all originally from outside
Oh, okay.
Chicago. And I'm currently outside
Oh, okay,
Cincinnati.
okay.
But yeah, we're all over the map.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I'm out here in California, so it's weird because you have these different environments, and how people react and interact. Like, so my people are from the Midwest, but they lived in Oregon, right? So you've got that down home that we trust each other, we talk to each other, we neighborhood thing. Here it's so transient that you may know somebody. Like I've even seen myself being kind of like quiet and shut down, working, and stuff. So yeah, it's like, yeah, try to create community,
Exactly.
that's all
And
I
it
gotta
just
say.
starts with
Try to create a
one
community.
smile, one hello. It just starts with one conversation.
Right?
And if that
That's
person
right.
doesn't want to be your
If you can
friend,
do that one
then
thing,
go on to the next person.
yeah, that's right. And even if you could just do one thing
Hmm.
a day, just one thing a day, like I'm going to wake up today. When you wake up, you just go, okay, what's my day? What's my intention for today? Who do I want to be? What do I want to, that type of thing. Not just like, oh, I've got to get the kids off or I've got to do this, all the have tos, right? But just like for my spirit, like, who am I? What do I want for today? It could be as simple as I just want to laugh or whatever. And then when you go to the store, maybe just open the door for somebody, like just freak them out.
Kind gesture.
You know?
Exactly.
And right? Just one kind gesture. That's it. And you feel so good. Like you don't need to tell anybody about it. You just feel so good.
So true.
I know it puts a smile on my face,
Absolutely.
when I, especially if I've done that or whatever, and they go, oh, thank you. They're like, thank you. And you're like, no
Because
problem.
people don't know what to expect that anymore.
No.
People expect rudeness. They don't expect generosity or kindness or just a thoughtful
know.
gesture. It's not the norm.
I know. Do you think that's like that in
I
Ohio,
think it's
where you guys are?
everywhere.
Is that like that too?
It's not to say
here?
that there aren't.
I think it's
I don't
everywhere.
I think that you are going to stumble upon people who are naturally kind, who were raised well and will do that.
Yeah.
But overall, no matter where you're at, and let me tell you, I have lived in the Pacific Northwest. I have lived in California. I've lived in Texas, in Florida, in the Carolinas. I've been all over the map. And I feel
Nice.
like I've
Actually,
I've met the whole nine yards, both
Gamut.
extremes, no matter where I've been.
Yeah.
Because people are different,
Wow.
just in how they're raised.
Yeah.
And what their outlook on life is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Regardless.
Yeah. And I was just in Scotland about 2 weeks ago now. And I was there for 14, 15 days working, doing music and with my vocal coach and preparing for a tour for next year. And oh my God, I mean, it was like, you're in trouble when you're sitting on a bus and you're looking around and you're going, whoa, they just did that. And not from, whoa, they just did that like they tried to attack somebody, but oh, they got up and let these older ladies sit down. You're just like, why am I shocked about kindness,
Right.
thoughtfulness? And I thought, oh, because you're living in an
That's not
environment that
the.
doesn't do that. That's why I'm
Yeah.
shocked. But I grew up like that. So, and it says right on the thing, get
Mhm.
up. It's we're older
Right.
and,
Hmm.
people with disabilities need to sit down, They just got up on their
Right.
own. Nobody came up and said, "Excuse me, can I sit here?" I was like, "Oh, this is
Right.
amazing." Just a different culture. They were just so kind, so thoughtful. And I was grateful to be there. My cortisol levels went down. My peace of mind came back up. It
Yeah.
was wonderful. I'm like, what am I doing in the
Right.
U.S.?
It is amazing.
We're approaching 250 years this year,
Isn't that
250.
crazy?
We'll see if we're going to make it.
Yeah. Man, that makes me feel old. Like
Yeah,
I feel like I
I
remember
know.
the bicentennial, and here we are 50 years later. This is just wrong. This
Right,
is
right.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I remember 250 years ago when I was in the Revolutionary War. How do I look? I'm a
I'm
vampire.
glad to say I don't remember that. Thank goodness.
That's why we
Oh
won.
boy, can you imagine?
It'd be pretty awesome though, right? Like what you think about it. What if you 250
Yeah.
years? How old are you today? Well, I'm 250. Could you imagine? People like,
Yeah,
"What?"
the shock value of that. Where's our dark fiction writer?
Well, we
He's
might get
he's
there.
taking notes.
We might get there.
Yeah, right.
Well, we might get there though with our technology.
Yeah, well, it's good to have
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah. Right. It's good to have goals. Ah, you're so funny.
Borrowed
That's
that one from
great,
my
Zoe.
brother.
Yeah, it's good to have goals.
But yeah, it's just yeah, it would be nice. And speaking of goals, going back to making friends, maybe just a
Yeah.
not terribly
Yeah.
ambitious someone who's lonely, maybe aim to meet at one
Yeah.
one person a month. If you're not very ambitious, if you're really ambitious, aim for one a week or better. But expand,
Wow. Yeah,
expand,
that's good.
expand. Just get to out there, meet
Yep.
people, try to try to just befriend one person a month. That's not a huge ask.
That's right.
Just meet one new person a month and
No.
try to build a
And
friendship.
that's right. That's right. And just trust yourself. Trust that you are going to meet the right people. I know sometimes people are more
Hmm.
shy or
Yeah,
afraid, and don't want to be rejected. And so I would say, I think that's a really good goal, Zoe, and they don't have to be your
yeah,
best friend. You don't have to invite them over. Just say hi. Maybe start
exactly.
there,
Just start a
you
conversation
know,
and maybe
and
something
trust.
you already enjoy
That's right.
doing that they're also already doing. If you
There
enjoy
you go.
painting, go to a paint
That's
class. If you
great.
enjoy whatever,
Yeah,
find
that's
someone who's
correct.
at that event or thing that you enjoy doing. Library if you're a bookworm, whatever the case.
Zumba,
Yeah,
whatever you think,
but just
swimming,
exactly.
whatever. Yeah,
And
get out
maybe
there.
say, let's
Yeah,
go have
I
coffee
agree.
at
I totally
McDonald's or
agree with
whatever.
that.
But just, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's my last plug for that.
perfect.
I
That's
just
perfect. And then
had
that'll
to go there.
no, I love it. I love it. And you really uplift. I think this conversation really is about uplifting each other, you know, and helping yourself. That's a very healing thing to
Especially
do.
during this
So,
dark season when people do
yeah.
need to have that support, that friend.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's not always a happy time of the year
exactly.
for people,
Exactly.
you know?
So,
Yeah. Yep.
so we're to the
Yeah.
point where we do have the random question from a previous guest. So let me
Yep.
find my random question page here.
I just love it.
So the random question from the previous guest said, see, now I don't think you would want to do this, but I'm going to ask it to you anyway. If you could change your profession, how you earn money, to do anything, what would you
Mm-hmm.
choose?
That's such a great question. Hmm. I would probably, not out of my reach, but I would probably do an environmental nonprofit. I've been involved with a few, and I would probably, like, if that was going to be my, I'd probably just totally focus on
Very
that.
cool.
Yeah, just totally sorting that
Very
out.
cool.
Yeah.
And his secondary question to that was, why not? What's holding you back? But I would
Yeah.
say in your case, it's probably because you're very successful at what you do. And I think you have a lot of love for what you do.
And I'm busy. Well, and it's funny that second question, because here's the truth, because I do so many things. But it really is like, it would be a single-minded thing. So it was like I would literally have to drop everything and go, I'm only focusing on that, and right now I'm only focusing on this.
Well, and
so, and I've had some experiences with nonprofits.
absolutely.
So that's a
And
lot.
truthfully, I think in his mind, he was talking to someone who was maybe at the beginning of a journey,
Sure.
or who was considering a change of a
Sure.
journey. So I think when he was coming up with that question,
Yes.
he was not envisioning someone who was having the journey that you're having. But that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Just sometimes the question doesn't necessarily fit.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
fine.
still a
It's
fun
totally
question
fine.
to ask. And
Right.
yeah.
But it's great.
And
Absolutely.
someone out there in the
100%.
audience
I
is
love
going,
it.
well,
I
what
love
is
it.
holding me back? What would I like to do? So
Absolutely. And that's always good to ask those questions.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
So have you
Yeah.
had time to kind of think about what random question you would like to leave for the next guest?
Just briefly, thank you for letting me know last minute. I would really sit with this. No, okay. My question is, probably more like a request. I think it's around, right. If you could, this is not really a question. It's more like a statement. I have this thing where I love people to write down their Declaration of Independence.
Okay. So what is your Declaration of Independence?
Write your own. What is your Declaration of Independence? And then write it down. I do that in my workshops, and it's great because it really makes you dig deep.
What would it be? Okay. Is there a secondary to it?
Um,
And it's okay if there isn't. Okay.
Not really.
Totally cool.
Not really. Probably read it out loud. Read it out loud. Read out. Make your. I would say, out of that declaration, make your own mission statement. Like a one-liner, like a mantra.
One-line mission statement.
Starting with I am. But.
I am. Okay. I might have to look at that myself after I get time to think straight.
Me too. It's a good one. I'm like, oh yeah, what about mine? Yeah.
Very cool. I appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your thoughts and letting me monopolize a little bit of the conversation.
Yeah.
since it kind of rolled that way.
Love it. No, I like that. This is great. This is great, Zoey. This is great. No, I love it. It's fun. It's fun getting to know you too, because I think that's important. The more your audience gets to know you too is very fun.
It's much appreciated. It's nice to have that opportunity. And, that was one of the reasons I started my podcast.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, well, see, and here's the example, right, Zoey? You and I are the example of just talking to somebody you don't even know.
Right. True. Yeah, we never met before today.
We did that today.
Exactly.
That's right. We did it. We did our thing today. We met our one person.
That is so true. And it's like I told my
Right?
stepson,
We did
the
it.
art of being a good conversationalist, it isn't about the talking. It's about the questions. It's about asking
Right.
questions and allowing the other person to
Yeah.
talk. And then,
Yeah.
contributing.
And listening. That's part of
Yeah,
listening.
exactly.
Yep.
So, and, if people can just learn to smile, introduce themselves, and relax and actually have that conversation, they can build those friendships.
Absolutely. 100%. Great advice, Mom.
What can
That's
I
great.
say? But I very much appreciate you coming today.
Well, we're making a difference.
Exactly.
Right?
Any way we can.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Well, hang on.
Yes,
After we stop
exactly.
recording, I'll have some more information for you. Any last thoughts for the audience before I stop recording?
Sounds good. No, just thanks for
Did I lose
listening
you?
and just get out there and participate. No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm
I just
here.
thought I lost you for a second. Okay. We're
Yep.
going to stop the recording now.
Nope, I'm here. Yep.
Okay.
Great.